All right, y'all. So this video, I want to talk real quick about like what do you do when you find yourself in a dark space or in some dark, in a dark space, right, in your life. And here's the thing: we all hit in life. What I've come to realize that every human being hits a wall at some point in their life. We all hit a wall, and it's what you do when you hit that wall. Do you break through? Do you run through that wall? Do you leap, climb? Do you shrink back? Do you become deterred, discouraged, despaired? Everybody at some point hits a brick wall, and it can be several brick walls. It doesn't have to be just one. It could be, say, usually is several, right? Some walls are higher than others. Some are, lower and moderate, but it's a wall, and we all gonna hit them. And we can call this a space of darkness in our lives, right? Where you just can't, things don't make sense, right? Well, what I want to offer is some advice here, right? Lamentations chapter 3 gives you a real good, a good understanding of what to do. And in short, what you do is you be silent. You sit in silence. That's it. When you feel perplexed, overwhelmed, and completely bewildered by life, sit in silence. That's Lamentations chapter 3. It tells you, I'll paraphrase, it says, go off and sit in silence and seek God. But that seems counterintuitive, and it also seems, it seems ludicrous. Sit in silence? But my life is falling apart. When things are, this is my advice, when things are falling apart, they're only falling into place. Nothing ever falls apart. Things don't fall apart, they fall into place. That's my philosophy, right? That's something that I kind of like, that came to me. So when things are falling into place, they might not be the place that you had expected. Usually that's why we call things falling apart, because they're falling into places that we weren't anticipating them to fall in, or we didn't have in our minds these were the positions we wanted them to fall in. So they failed to meet our expectations, therefore we consider them falling apart. But things are only falling into place. That's it. The universe is balancing itself out. It's called symmetry, right? But here's the thing, folks. When you're in a dark space in your life, understand that the number one thing to do is to be silent. Be silent with your life. Be reclusive. Draw into your, and a lot of this might sound, again, it might sound a little ludicrous or counterintuitive, but draw into yourself. Draw into yourself. Remove yourself from the crowd. Remove yourself from all the noise, both external and interior. Quiet the noise outside as well as inside your own head. And know that darkness that you're in, that cloud that hovers over you, that you probably been working, churning, toiling to remove, but yet it stays. It is there. It is put there intentionally, and it is put there on purpose, purposefully by God. Now, a lot of times people, like when I have conversations, people will say, well, why would God allow these things to happen? Why God does this? Why God does that? We hear it all the time. We see someone get killed, or someone lose a family member, or someone loses their job, or whatever. We see these injustices, things that we consider injustice. And I would give them advice and say, listen, God allowed it to happen. And a lot of people would say, well, why would God do this? Why would God do that? And they develop a hardness of heart towards God because they see God as this big bad guy that's like punishing people and tormenting folks, right? But what we fail to understand is that, God doesn't do anything, we do it. We do it. You know what I'm saying? It's our, in Lamentations, it says, why should a man complain when he is being punished for his sins? Go and examine your life. And that's the part that we need to focus on. Like, examine your life. Examine your life. Really look into your life. And examine your ways and your behaviors and the things that you do, your conduct. And you'll realize that a lot of the things, if not all the things that we're facing, are a result of our choices, our decisions. But again, the outcome does not match our expectations. And then we consider, God is not just. Why does God allow these things to happen? But God didn't do anything. It's our choices, our decisions, or lack of. proper decision making that has results and consequences, and things fall into place. Like I said, not apart, but fall into place. But again, the falling into place is not aligned with our expectations, and we become bitter and sour and despondent and despair and discouraged. Again, when you are in a dark space in your life, understand that God allowed you to be in that space, and in that darkness there is light. What I mean by that is those darknesses, those challenges, those difficulties are the means. Those are the same means that's going to bring you to the next level you're supposed to be spiritually. They're responsible for your growth. You could not grow or mature. Your maturation process could not take place without those darknesses. So those darknesses are light in sense that they're playing a role, and they're necessary. They're necessary. They're part and parcel. They're a prerequisite for your growth and your development along your journey. Folks, I tell people this all the time. We live in a state of impermanency. Impermanency. Nothing is permanent. Do not plant your spiritual roots too deep in this earth, because you're not here permanently. This is a temporary transit. We're in a state of impermanent transition, right? We're transitioning. This is a transitory state. We're transitioning from this state to next, to higher planes. We are here for a very short time to experience matter, right? This is a realm of matter, materialism. We're here to experience all of humanity. The joys, the sadnesses, the misery, the happiness, the ups, the downs. It's all humanity. We are spirit beings experiencing humanity. Do not get too comfortable in this house of physical matter. All right? Till next time. Peace.